Hi everyone. It's great to be back home on La Brisa. This has been the longest that we've been away since we bought her. And I know it sounds a little corny, but I think she feels alive now that air is flowing through her cabin, the ports are open, and there's commotion going on around her. As for us, after our return from Alaska, we had a little bit of a stay in California and a great experience to get us back into the sailing mode. When we visited our daughters in San Francisco, we had an opportunity to go sailing out of South Beach Marina, just south of the Bay Bridge. John, who owns the Cape Dory 27, Hunky Dory, was kind enough to take all of us sailing, and it wasn't just any sailing trip. It just so happened to be Sunday, the last day the Navy acrobatic demonstration team, the Blue Angels, would perform during Fleet Week. The day was incredibly balmy for San Francisco Bay, topping out in the high 70s. John, who has been sailing during the Blue Angel shows for years, knew the perfect place to sail back and forth for the best viewing. And it was certainly nice to leave the responsibility to him to negotiate the traffic on the water. The Blue Angels performed scores of maneuvers, including the sneak pass at low altitude, with airspeed slightly below Mach 1. John enjoyed our stunned exclamations of surprise. I was so surprised, I didn't get it on video.
Guess what? Everybody misses it. That's why they do it. Oh, I was waiting for that. I'm like, I hope we... Wasn't that something? Oh, yeah. That's what keeps me coming back.
Another maneuver, Section High Alpha Pass, is the slowest of the show, with the jets at 125 knots and the pitch of the nose of the FA-18 at approximately 45 degrees. My favorite of the show, near the end, is the loop break cross, in which the aircraft come from 6 different directions and cross in the center of the performance area. At the end of the show, we experienced what John termed the bathtub effect. In other words, the mass exodus of boats and their ensuing wakes. It was a great day to enjoy the noise, the sun, and the waves. What a treat for us. When we opened La Brisa up, we were greeted with boatyard dust and grime that somehow managed to accumulate in a closed-up boat. It was with some trepidation that I opened cabinets to see if bugs had made an invasion in our absence. A lot of people get rid of all their dried goods when leaving the boat. I opted to chance it by justifying to myself that we were only going to be gone 3 months. Some food items did not withstand the heat, though. The powdered milk in this container lost its ability to dissolve in water, whereas the packets of powdered milk stored in a different location were fine. The Nutella lost its flavor, and the rum pope has an off taste. The oil from the cloves in this spice container caused the plastic cover to blister. But that seems to be all. I think we lucked out this time. Before using the stove, Lee checked our gas lines with the propane sniffer, just in case the heat had caused problems, and all was well. We weren't sure how to leave our water tanks, so we left one full and one empty. It didn't seem to make a difference, as we had planned on cleaning the tanks anyhow. Here, Lee is vacuuming dust and dog hair, which somehow seems to get in every nook and crevice. In the background, you can hear our large box fan. It's a lifesaver in the warmer weather, and we store it in the truck when we leave the yard. So, how does it look?
It looks decent. It's got those rust parts on them. I didn't think this one had any rust on it. Yeah, and the seat, over there, the paint's peeled up.
Oh yeah, we're gonna have to get some epoxy paint,
Yeah.
some food grade epoxy paint somewhere along the line, and
clean it and
redo these.
redo them. That may be our project when we pull next.
Food grade epoxy paint has been added to our list of supplies to bring back on our next trip. The tanks were wiped down with a bleach water solution, rinsed and pumped out. The bolts for the covers were then coated with a food grade anti-seize compound, and the tanks filled. When we left La Brisa, we removed the Dodger and took it with us. While we were at Scott and Vicky's house, I replaced the vinyl windows. Sailrite has an excellent how-to video on doing this project. The old vinyl is left intact and the new vinyl is sewn in place. The old vinyl is then carefully cut out using a seam ripper. I elected to do this last step on the boat because the old vinyl would help keep the new vinyl from getting scratched during transport back to La Brisa. We then stretched and mounted the Dodger. What a treat to have nice clear windows. We brought back a lot of presents for La Brisa, and over the course of the next few weeks, we will be installing them and playing around with them. But now we are in a hurry to get La Brisa in the water. Our friends Steve and Terry will be joining us in just a few days. The cabin is in disarray and we are eating a lot of takeout. In our next episode, Lee will be talking about his pet project, converting La Brisa's power system from wet cell batteries to lithium ion. So until then,